Hello everyone, it's your girl Soul Spice, and today on Sex Matters, I'm going to be talking about blueprint. Yeah. So there's this thing about marriage, yeah. When we get to be born, we grow up, we have the mindset of going to primary school, secondary school, university. Then we've been programmed to know that okay, after university, you get a good job, you find a good man, you get married, you have kids, and then you live happily ever after. Now, most times we bring this same thing into marriage. Now, when we graduate and we don't get a job, most times we either look for something else to do, and so many people end up shifting from what they actually, studied in school and they start a new life entirely and, they end up making it. But in marriage, it is so totally different. In marriage, it's a whole lot of issues because we have the mindset, okay, I'm getting married to this man, and this is the love of my life. I love this man. So at that point, we create a blueprint that this man is going to be like this for the rest of our lives. This is how my sector is going to be for the rest of my life. This is how my home is going to be for the rest of my life. So we have the mindset that, okay, now I'm getting married. He's a good man. He's not going to change. God will continue to bless us. We're going to grow, buy our home, buy our car, go on vacation, and then have good kids and live happily ever after. 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, everything begins to unfold. Things begin to change, and then we become miserable at the end of the day because our blueprint says marriage is sweet, because our blueprint says this man is not going to change, because our blueprint says my sex life is going to remain the same or better. Now, one thing we do not understand is we do not learn to move with the situation on ground. We don't learn to change our blueprint just the way we have created it. Because for every man you get to date, there's a blueprint of what you're expecting. Every man you get to stay with, there's a blueprint of what you want in that relationship. Okay, even at the end of the day, sometimes it doesn't really work out, but there's a blueprint of what we want. So on our wedding day or days before our wedding, we create a blueprint of how our home is going to be. Our home doesn't remain the same way we have planned it to be, and then there comes the problem. For a woman to be the same way, no, it doesn't work that way. It can't be the same way. Reason because you don't treat them the same way. You don't do the same thing you used to do. You don't act the same way you used to act. You don't call them 10 times the way you used to call them. Why? Because now you are used to them. Now we live together. Now I see you every day. So I feel like, okay, we left home this morning. Hi, how are you? So why do I have to call you 10 times? Unlike before, I hardly see you. So for me, it's normal for me to call you. Until you change the blueprint in your mind, your marriage will not work. So many women have issues with their men and they believe that, you know what, so I'm done begging him. It is not time for him to beg me. Blah, 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 blah. That was the blueprint they had at that time. But the blueprint we have now is a matter of you and I communicating, you and I understanding ourselves. So if we still have men out there who believe that she has no right to speak to me when I'm talking, okay, then you need to change your blueprint. Now, we become frustrated most times in our homes when we feel, okay, he wasn't supposed to cheat and he cheated. Because your blueprint you have is that he's never going to cheat or he's not supposed to cheat, and then somehow you find out he has cheated or he keeps cheating over and over again. Sweetheart, please change your blueprint. Even though I keep saying, speak the right words, say the right things, speak good words into your spouse's life. The truth is, you also need to change that blueprint. When you change your blueprint, you come to a realization, okay, fine, he keeps cheating. So what do I do? Where do I go from here? How do I move on? How do I realize that, okay, my happiness is not in his hands? How do I realize that the fact that I'm always angry and always sad is not his fault, but my fault because I have chosen those feelings against being happy? The bad thing in all this cheating and adultery scandal is the fact that the other spouse who is not the one cheating gets the pain the more. Even though I keep saying, speak the right words, say the right things, speak good words into your spouse's life. The truth is, you also need to change that blueprint. When you change your blueprint, you come to a realization, okay, fine, he keeps cheating. So what do I do? Where do I go from here? How do I move on? How do I realize that, okay, my happiness is not in his hands? How do I realize that the fact that I'm always angry and always sad is not his fault, but my fault because I have chosen those feelings against being happy? The bad thing in all this cheating and adultery scandals is the fact that the other spouse who is not the one cheating gets the pain the more. The one who is not cheating gets to be angry. The one who is not cheating gets the gets the pain, the crying, everything inside of them. But the one who is cheating is happy. The one who is cheating keeps going back to different women. The one who is cheating enjoys that moment. What's the do that? So what would it be for you? How much blueprint do you think you need to change to have a good home? How many times do you need to keep changing your blueprint? Because until you learn to change your blueprint, it will never work. You will always be frustrated. Now, when you have a plan of, okay, you know what, I'm getting married, and at the back of my mind, he might probably cheat. I don't know what's going to happen. This is just who I am. Let me just go into this marriage. I love him, yes, but in case he cheats, I'm going to work it out. That's the blueprint. Now, if after you get into the marriage, he doesn't cheat, you feel more happy. You feel more lively as a wife, because what you're experiencing goes beyond your blueprint. Because at the back of your mind, you already felt you might one day cheat, things might happen. The way we feel like, oh, all men cheat. Okay, what if we cheat one day? We always have that at the back of our minds. But then you find out 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years after he has not yet cheated, or probably you still haven't caught it. And so you feel you have a good home. You tell yourself, oh, my home is better. Oh, my husband is good. My husband is this. My wife is this. Why? Because what you're experiencing goes beyond your blueprint. Now, for those who believe in perfection, for those who believe their spouse will never change, for those who believe this is who I'm going to be for the rest of my life, it doesn't work that way. And then we become depressed. We become so sad. We start to cry. We start to become angry with everything around us. Our work, our family, our children. We become so angry that every other thing doesn't work. And then we blame who? We say it's whose fault. It is not your spouse's fault. Even though they might be the reason why you're angry, but really, it's not his fault. It's your fault. Because until you change your blueprint and move into situation on ground, the same thing with our children. We don't force a child to walk. We wait till they are ready. So stop trying to force your spouse to do what you want them to do. You have to change and wait till they are ready. When you change, they see you and they communicate with you on the level of your change, and then probably, if you're lucky, with time they get to change. But when you sit there and expect them to change, you're trying to force them to change. It's like forcing a baby to walk, when you know the child probably has to crawl first, then has to walk holding things before they can stand on their own. Treat your marriage like a child. Treat your marriage like your baby. Give your time. Give yourself time. Give yourself space. Change your blueprint. Don't create a blueprint for somebody else you can't control. Even your kids, you can't even control. There's a limit to how much you can control your child. The only child you can control is the one inside of you. Once they come out, you can't control. You can't control when they cry, when they're not supposed to cry, when they want to eat. You just can't control. So why create a blueprint for your spouse with the mindset that he's never going to cheat, she's never going to walk away, she's never going to do this? No. Even if you want to do, even if you decide to create a blueprint, which most of us naturally do unconsciously, we create a blueprint. All I'm saying is, when the table turns, change your blueprint. Don't stick with that blueprint. For you to change your spouse, you have to change your blueprint. For you to get your spouse back into your life, you have to change your blueprint. When you change your blueprint to the situation, it makes it easier for you to get that courage and that strength from in between to work on it. But when you don't, you keep getting frustrated. I hope this gets to speak to one person. I hope this gets to make you understand that it's never your fault. I hope this gets to make you understand that it's not about what society has to say. Society believes that this is how marriage should be. If it doesn't work, walk away. If it works, walk away. Society they're bringing up the fact that you have to walk away every time. But the truth is, you can always make it work. Yes, you can always make it work. There is nothing impossible for you. There is nothing impossible for God. It's all about determination. But remember, don't create a blueprint for your spouse. Create a blueprint only for yourself. Whatever happens, you're ready to twist and turn. See, have a fantastic day. Love you all. Your one and only sex goddess, Soul Spice. Bye for now.